national housing emergency has been declared by y'all's president, Donald Trump. Trump had to step in. I mean, housing is ridiculous. The cost of a house is too much. Let's put it in the most basic terms we can. It is too much. It's too much of everyone's income. It's the largest percentage it's been in world history. We can say pretty much, right? You used to could get a house for a smaller portion of your income. Now it's taking up the majority of your income. We could put it like that. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new, 2 thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe and ring the post notification bell as well. Let's get into it. Let's let Trump talk about this housing emergency. It is an emergency, for real. But is he going to do something about it? Who knows? A lot of broken promises have been spewed out since this man got in the office. But let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it.
Big news today, not just on the Fed, but also on housing. Trump's team is weighing a national housing emergency as early as this fall. Let's break it down and how it ties into the Fed. On one side, we've got the Fed finally admitting that the labor market could weaken very quickly. Job openings just dropped to 7.18 million. That means just a small wave of layoffs could lead to a spike in unemployment. That weakness is already moving the markets.
Oh, could they? They could lead to a spike in unemployments, huh? Or they have already led to a spike in unemployments. Let's use that wordplay.
Bonds are up 15 basis points today, and the 10-year Treasury is flirting with the 4.2%. If Friday's jobs report comes in soft, we could see rates push even lower, maybe even towards that magic 4.0% on the 10-year Treasury. And now layer in the housing side. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says we could declare a national housing emergency. Ideas being floated: cutting closing costs, exempting some construction material from the tariffs, and streamlining building codes. Meanwhile, Senators Schumer, Booker, and Warren are all pushing the FHFA director, Bill Pulte, and the GSEs to lower housing costs. They're pushing for more affordable housing models, modular construction, and housing tax credits.
Modular construction, that is a cheaper alternative. Modular homes. Those should be, that should be regulated. There should be an incentive, some type of tax incentive or something to where, construction companies will want to build modular homes. Let's get people in modular homes. Hey, they look how they look on the outside, but on the inside, they're nice a lot of the times. I know plenty of people that have built modular homes and were able to outright own them. Let's do it. I'm with it.
So here's the takeaway. We have a Fed that's staring at a labor market that could turn quickly, and we've got the White House looking to possibly invoke emergency powers to make housing more affordable. Combine softer job data with new housing policy, and you could see a combination that could lead to lower rates and more affordability for buyers sooner than most people think. Keep watching Friday's jobs numbers and keep an eye on DC's housing policies. We could be on the verge of a big shift in mortgage rates.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think this will really happen or another broken promise? I don't see nothing wrong with modular homes. I like them. I like the idea. But when it's coming from the government, then you kind of can't trust it. But hey, let's hope for the best. That's all we can do. Let's hope for the best.
Emergency housing situation.
That's right, we're thinking about doing that.
Hi, my name is Zachary Faust. That was Donald Trump, and they're considering a national housing emergency. I want to tell you what this means for you and whether or not it'll lower home prices.
We're thinking about doing that. We need a little help from the Fed. Jerome Too Late Powell, you probably heard of him. He's too late. Way too late.
If you're unaware, Jerome Powell is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. After 8 months of berating the man to lower rates, Jerome hasn't cut rates. But regardless of all of that, rates don't really have anything to do with the question.
The economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well.
Quick little rule of thumb.
We're doing well, he says. Maybe the rich, the ultra mega rich are doing well. Come on down off your high horse and come back to reality. The economy not doing well, brother. People are sleeping in cars, let me remind you. People are going to homeless shelters if they can find space because there's no space in the homeless shelters. People are sleeping outside. People are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old having to move back in with their parents or relatives. People are working and still homeless. People cannot afford groceries. The list goes on and on. The economy is doing well. Boy, get out of here with that, man.
When the market's a frown, rates go down. When the market starts to fly, rates go high. Let me show you this graph. This is the federal funds rate. Federal funds rate is controlled by the Fed. Now, what Trump just said is that although we aren't lowering rates, our economy's doing so well, it don't even matter. But the thing is, you don't lower rates when the market's good. You lower rates when the market's bad. If you look at the yellow highlights, you'll see the 2 times we lowered rates drastically, and that was post-2008 and during 2020. The rate...
Right, so that means he just told a bold-faced lie. Per usual, nothing new.
goes down when the market's a frown.
Makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late.
Here he's talking about mortgage rates, which typically do track with the Fed rate that the Federal Reserve does indeed control. And mortgage rates have been absolutely insane for too long. In perspective, if you bought a $400,000 home today, at today's rates, your mortgage payment would be about $3,000. And if rates were to drop by a full 2%, which would be wild, that mortgage payment would come down, but not as much as people would like it to. Lowering this rate may help, because it could lower this rate. I'd argue the core problem isn't rates, it's home prices, nearly doubling over the last 10 years.
Probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right?
Jerome and the Fed did indeed make 3 cuts to the Fed rate for a full 100 basis points from August 2024 in through the end of the year. The reason for this flat line in January of 2025 wasn't due to politics. Fed stopped cutting rates because they were tariff-fied. Tariffs, get it?
I see how
Because
you
he
did
was
that.
hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in. He was a big Biden guy.
Actually, he wasn't. You can't really find any public endorsement that Powell or Fed made of Biden or Harris.
And then he was a Kamala person. I think that if you look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly.
Is our bank's rate higher than other countries? Yes. And is it true, like he said, that for decades prior to now that we actually had lower rates in comparison to major economies like China, Australia, Japan, Germany? Right here from the '08 crash on was actually the age of the cheapest money in American history. And as we
All right, now look, all of the MAGA people, peep how many lies this man told in just this one small or short clip, this 3-minute and 45-second video. This man keeps going, to the things that Trump is saying. Even if you're not a MAGA person, just look how your politicians, your president specifically, are liars.
You can see all the way back to 1975 that we've classically had higher rates. During all these times, countries like Germany, Japan, China, Australia, and others classically being much cheaper to finance money. And a lot of that is because the world reserve currency is the US dollar. We have a higher level of integrity and discipline to our currency, or at least we should.
We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big.
And wrapping up his concise answer around the possibility of a national housing emergency, we talk more about tariffs.
Tariff gets us even those other things. And numerous of the trade deals that I made because of tariffs.
What trade deals? This man keep talking to trade deals. 1 minute it's a deal, the next minute it's not a deal. It's a lot of lies, man. It's a lot of stalling. And then tariffs, he's saying, and he's trying to make it seem as if the tariffs will be paid by other countries. How dumb do you think the U.S. citizens are? The tariffs fall on the people, not other countries. That's not a good thing that you're doing. Not for the U.S. citizens. We don't want your tariffs, sir. We don't. Every time in world history that tariffs were brung on, the economy suffered. Thousands of jobs were lost. Last time it was 210,000 jobs were lost. He keep talking about tariffs. Tariffs are not a good thing for the U.S. people.
Mention all the wars that he
I
settled.
settled 7 wars.
The liberal courts are trying to stop him.
That ability were taken away from us by a liberal court.
And how much debt we're in.
We have $38 trillion in debt.
And ultimately not answering the question as to whether or not we are going into a national housing emergency. Thankfully, Scott Bessent gave a little bit of insight in his interview. Bessent declined to list any specific actions under consideration by the president, but said the administration officials are studying ways to decrease closing costs and nationally standardize the local patchwork of building and zoning codes. In layman's terms, this pretty much means they're going to be helping builders build and not do anything to help the first-time homebuyer buy. Home prices are unaffordable. Please see my graph. More homes could help, but only if they're built to be affordable. And lower Fed rate could help, but only if it actually lowers mortgage rates. Seems like this may happen. If it does, I don't see it having a large impact on home prices. And here's the end of his answer that didn't really answer the question.
40 years. That's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President,
What type of answer was that? If they, he said a bunch of nothing right there. How will the world debt come down if you're adding to it with your big, beautiful bill, sir? How will it come down? When you're adding trillions, it's at 38 trillion. Last time I checked, it was 32 trillion. That's $6 more trillion have been added about since Trump got in there, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not coming down. You're adding to it. This man is a bold-faced liar, man, and I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his lies. I'm sick of his broken promises. Do I think that affordable housing will come into fruition? I don't know. Am I hoping that it will? Yes. The modular home plan, it sounds good. Modular homes you can get at a reduced price in comparison to a normal build, a brick build. It's just a more affordable option. So I think that there should be more modular homes. There's probably going to be certain zones or certain communities that will be modular home built communities. I can't see modular homes in the midst of normal brick builds, right? But okay, that's fine. So many people will have the option, if this does come into fruition, to move into communities of modular homes. Maybe people will be able to buy them outright or pay them off in a short amount of time. It won't take 20, 30 years. It won't even take 15 years. But will this come into fruition? That's the question. What do you think, family? Do you think this is another lie coming from this man's mouth, or do you think this is something that will actually happen? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Appreciate you for watching.